Francis Ngannou is slated to fight Anthony Joshua in boxing. He's going to be delaying his MMA fight at the PFL and just going to continue to box. This is what I did expect from him. He's having so much success over there in boxing right now. Why return to MMA? There's really no point. He's going to make so much money again, and the fight is going to be in Saudi Arabia. Those guys are just putting on all the fights right now. Like, it's insane how involved they are in combat sports right now. And if Francis Ngannou is able to beat Anthony Joshua, he is probably going to get that title fight. Because this is not going to be some exhibition. This is not going to be some wild spectacle. This is a real professional fight where the winner most likely is going to get that shot at the title, as both Joshua and Ngannou are ranked in boxing. Now, these two are going to fight on March 8th. Fury versus Usyk is on February 17th, so they're kind of close to each other. I think there's enough time for them to fight maybe in the fall of the year. And of course, everybody wants to see Ngannou fight Fury again. That's probably what everybody here is hoping happens, besides Eddie Hearn, of course. If Ngannou knocks Joshua out and Tyson Fury beats Usyk, it's going to be quite difficult for him. Their rematch is probably going to be one of the biggest heavyweight fights in some time. The first one wasn't necessarily as big because nobody thought Ngannou could really do anything, but seeing how well he did, the rematch is most likely going to be massive, and it just shows, man, Ngannou keeps winning. He keeps winning. He's getting a Joshua fight. There's still to have some doubt of who his next opponent was going to be, but the fact that he could just keep fighting in boxing against these superstars. Anthony Joshua is a big name, especially over there in England. Ngannou's going to make at least 7 figures for this fight, I can only imagine. And hearing about all the news that's happening with Stipe and Tom Aspinall and John Jones, like, Ngannou is winning. He came out on top of all of this. With this fight, it's just proven to be so. Because it just goes to show you that these boxing promoters want a piece of him, right? They want him on their cards. They want him to fight their fighters. But that's only going to be true as long as Ngannou keeps winning, right? If Ngannou loses this fight to Joshua, a lot of this boxing stuff goes away, but then he could just go back to the PFL and make a ton of money over there. Do I think he beats Anthony Joshua? I think it's a tough fight for Ngannou, but I am not counting him out at all. He does have the power, he has the chin, just like he does against everybody. Joshua may be the most lethal puncher Ngannou's ever fought, maybe other than Derek Lewis in a way, but Joshua's way more technical with his hands. He's way more pinpoint and precise. Joshua could hurt Ngannou out there. He does a good ability to stick behind the jab. He also has pretty good footwork as well, but we did see Ngannou's ability to slip Tyson Fury's jab, who's much longer, who's also very fast, who also has great footwork. Just like with Tyson Fury, Joshua's 1-2 could be his moneymaker in this fight. It could be the thing that he relies on the most, as Fury was able to catch Ngannou a lot with that. Even when Ngannou was trying to throw that check left hook, he did catch Fury for it later, but earlier on, that 1-2 was definitely landing on him a lot. He just had the chin to take him. It was more so the check left hooks from Tyson Fury that Ngannou was able to evade, and I think he might be able to do something similar with Joshua, but Joshua throws his left hooks a lot more differently. His hooks are usually in tight, whereas Tyson Fury's are a lot longer and extended. And Ngannou is going to get better for this next boxing fight. What we saw before is not going to be the exact same guy we see this time. I think we're going to see a much better version of Ngannou. The way I see the fight going is, I see Joshua winning the fight technically. I see him out jabbing Ngannou, beating him from distance, throwing out some really good lead feints, using that to line up good right hands to the body. Whenever he gets in close, he's going to rip up those uppercuts and hooks, but he's going to have to limit the amount of punches he throws compared to what he does against other fighters. One punch from Ngannou, it's going to be over for him, and Ngannou will absolutely exchange. He has a very good left hook himself, so it's going to be important of how Joshua exits, what shoulder he sees from Ngannou come out first. If Ngannou's showing that left shoulder before throwing the left hook, Joshua has to put up the right guard and exit to the left. If he sees the right shoulder come, he needs to guard up with his left and exit to the right. This is very crucial for Joshua, because one wrong mistake, one wrong direction he takes there, and that fight is over for him. The place where Joshua is going to have the most issues with Ngannou is not necessarily the power itself. Of course, that could be a big problem for Joshua, but I think a bigger one is the clinch. He is going to be a bit smaller than Ngannou out there. He's going to weigh a bit less. He's going to be probably a bit weaker than Ngannou. These boxers don't clinch the same way Ngannou does. Ngannou brings a very unorthodox clinch game to boxing that comes from MMA, that comes from even places like Muay Thai. His underhooks, overhooks, tie plum, bicep control are very strange for boxing fundamentals, and he was making it work against Tyson Fury. The bicep control was holding a bit separation between him and Fury, so he can look for those uppercuts. Just putting the hands on the biceps allows you to quickly rotate the uppercuts to the chin, right from that position. A great technique for Ngannou to throw at Joshua. But the thing about Joshua is different than Fury, is that Joshua will be more active with his hands in the clinch. He will look to throw these very tight uppercuts and hooks himself. So Ngannou has to be prepared for Joshua to be more active than Fury was in the clinch. I think the Thai plum can really lock down a bit of what Joshua wants to work with, and the underhooks and overhooks I think will overpower Joshua. Just enough of those shots, even in the clinch from Ngannou, can probably change this fight completely. Joshua does not have a chin like Tyson Fury. Fury fought two of the biggest punchers in combat sports history and was able to go to a decision with both of them. And he got dropped by both of them. He got hit clean by both of them. Was still able to go all the way. I don't think Joshua could do the same. So I think even these uppercuts in the clinch from Ngannou can absolutely hurt Joshua. And if Joshua dares to try to muscle Ngannou, he is going to be surprised out there. Look how Ngannou took over the clinch against a bigger man in Tyson Fury. And the thing is, Joshua likes it. Ngannou clinching up with him could be interesting as well. Force those tie-ups, create some damage from the clinch, and exit off the pocket with some big punches. I think Ngannou can really make some stuff work out there, more specifically in close. From distance, I think it's going to be harder for Ngannou to connect with his punches more meaningfully. I think it's because the more distance you give someone like Joshua, the better he is going to see these punches, especially from someone like Ngannou, I think. Right, some of the hooks from Ngannou specifically can come out a bit looping, and I think Joshua will see those. The pocket is where Joshua could be in some danger, and the clinch as well. But I'm ready to be surprised by Ngannou, man. I'm ready for him to show us something else here. He completely surprised us when he fought Tyson Fury, and I'm ready for it again, man. My early prediction for this fight, I am going to go with Anthony Joshua, but I'm going to go by a decision win. And if he loses to Ngannou, that might be it for Anthony Joshua getting these championship fights, specifically with Tyson Fury, because he already lost twice to Usyk. And for some reason, I see the body jab right overhand combo for Ngannou working here. Even if Joshua tries to block it, for some reason, I think the impact can get to him because Joshua doesn't have a great chin. I think one even average connection from Ngannou can really turn this fight over. But I do expect Joshua to work the body more and try to slow down the bigger man here. And yes, Ngannou is the bigger man who will outweigh Anthony Joshua by about 20 to 30 pounds on fight night. Joshua weighs around like 245. Ngannou can weigh up to even in the 270s. And I'm hoping Ngannou wins, man. I'm hoping he puts on a good performance. A lot of people still seem to have some doubts about Ngannou's boxing career. There's some people saying it was a fluke. There's some people saying that it was a one-off, that it would not ever happen again. Everybody knows who Ngannou is now. Every boxer knows how this guy fights. He's not going to have success. After seeing what he's made of against Tyson Fury, now they all know how to handle him. This argument has been a lot more recent now, especially from more boxing fans. But if he goes out there and beats Joshua, there is no more doubting this man. I want to see this guy get this heavyweight title. I want to see him at the top of the boxing scene. If he goes and does that, I mean, he has to be the greatest combat sports athlete of all time, or at least top 3. He has to be. If he beats Joshua and then beats Tyson Fury again, or Usyk, whoever has the belt, would you say that he's number 1 of all time combat sports athletes? That'd be such a blow to everybody that has doubted him, man. And I'm also very curious to see how much does Joshua and Ngannou sell. I don't think it's too important for Saudi Arabia because I hear that they fund their own events, so like it really doesn't matter for them. But I'm still interested to see how many people care about Ngannou boxing. And leave the comments below, how much are you looking forward to this Ngannou fight? Because his last pay-per-view with Fury flopped. And I'm very curious if that's the same kind of thing that's going to happen for this fight. I have a feeling everybody's going to watch it, or at least I hope so. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to give this a like, make sure to subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and I'll see you guys in the next video.